Good morning to all students. So in the last lecture of automation and control, we have seen introduction to PLC programming ladder diagram or logic. So what is the advantages, the invention, and we have also seen two basic instructions or symbols. First one was examine if closed, which only gives the status of a bit is on, and then output coil. Okay. So now today in this lecture we are going to repeat the last uh, sequence of this program once again because I thought it wasn't more clear to you. So I will repeat this once again. Okay. So I have opened the browser for this for a clear image. So this is your program. Okay. There is a YouTube video for this. Hmm. So in this uh, video you are going to see how a ladder logic works in the PLC. So these are the input output module. It's a switch. Then these are the addresses of input byte, addresses of output byte, and the values. Okay. So for the first instant the switch is off. Okay, it's in off position. Off means it's open. So from this animation I'll play, you can see that it will scan the input. Okay, first step is to scan the input, all the inputs. Then the states of these inputs are saved in a memory byte. First of all it will scan the inputs, then the state means it is on or off, it will store in the memory byte, and this memory byte is just 8 bits next to each other. Okay, first one is 8 bit, second one is 16 bit, like that. So for now you don't have to think too much, but placing these bits next to each other is very smart. Okay, I'll come back to that later. So when this PLC has the state of all the inputs saved, the program will start to run. Okay, in the first step it will save all the states of this input and output, as you can see here. Okay, these are saved, then the program will start when the inputs are saved. The first instruction to be executed is the examination if closed, means normally open. The result of this instruction will be the same as the state of memory bit. Okay, you can see here. Then first instruction is here only, you can see in this one. This is normally open or examine if closed. This is the first instruction. Okay, you can see in this GIF. I'll play the video. So second part is running the program. It it will start the execution of the instruction, and the result of this instruction will be the same as the state of the memory bit. Means if the state of memory bit is 0, right now it is 0 because it is the switch is off. So this state equivalent to the state of the instruction, that is 0. So it makes sense to call the instruction normally open because at the start it is open. So in normal state where the memory bit is 0, right now it is 0, the contact will be open and the result is 0. Okay, and the contact will be open and the result is RLO is 0. This is also 0. But if the memory bit is 1, the contact will close and yield the result 1. You can see here for the condition when switch is open, bit is 0, this result is 0. Okay, Next, you can see here these are the output bytes, okay, which are also 0. Then when the switch is closed, okay, I'll rewind. When our switch is closed, okay, then what will be the difference? It will first of all scan the input again. You can see here, scan the input. Then if as this input is having a byte of 1, means it is on, so value of bit is 1, other values will be 0 because it is only connected to the 1, okay. Then 10 point IO.3, IO.7 all will be 0 because it is not connected. Then it will run the program, okay. As you can see here, okay, so the output will be 1 because output coil is showing 1. This input IO.0 is 1. Value will be saved in the PLC memory. The values will be 0, and because of this one value is saved as a bit, this will turn on, okay. So now you can see here this output coil uses the result of the previous instruction as a condition, okay, and this is called the result of logic operation. The result of logic operation is stored in a special place in PLC memory, okay. So a word in PLC terms is 16 bits next to each other or 2 bytes. The output coil works in a very simple way. It simply sets the bit to the same value as it is conditioned, okay, RLO means, okay. So in the PLC all the digital output are also assigned to bits in the memory. We'll call that the output byte, which this is output byte Q0.0. We will call then the bits from Q0.0 to Q0.7, okay. The result of the output coil will be put in the memory of Q0.0. So when the PLC has executed the whole program, it will set the outputs. The state of each output is set to the same state as that output bits, okay. So the whole scan cycle is very important to keep in mind when you are programming in ladder logic. Otherwise your program might act a bit strange or inconvenient. So this can be illustrated in the next example. Now next point is output latch. So in the previous example you have learned how to read the state of digital input and set a digital output to the same state, means state of this input and giving back the state to the output, okay. Let's say that digital input is momentary push button, okay. It is called momentary because it has a spring inside. This means that the push button will only be active as long as you press it, okay. If you will not press the button, it will be turned off, okay. That is what it is called momentary, because of spring mechanism inside it. So the digital input is your momentary push button. The ladder program above will work very fine, okay, just fine. But as you might have noticed, the output will only be active as long as input is active because it is a momentary mechanism. So now you will have to hold your finger on the button to keep the output activated. That's the most important condition, okay. Then but let's say that the output controls a fan for a ventilation system, okay. This output, the pressing button input for that particular output, uh, we are going to control a fan for a ventilation system, so it would not be very convenient for the operator to hold down the button all the time, Okay, it's quite inconvenient and descripting. Okay, so we need a way to keep the output active. So how can we do this? So even though the operator releases the push button, so by using for this condition, particular momentary mechanism condition, so for the condition of momentary mechanism, we need a way to keep the output active, okay, without pressing the push button for a long time, because of convenience of the operator, or easier for the operator. So in uh, ladder logic, there are two ways to do this thing. Okay, so now if you are familiar or introductory with the electrical systems, you may find this similar. Okay, this is called a latch or self hold. The name reveal how it works. Okay, the name of this latch, or whatever this is called as latch or safe hold, will reveal how it works. The coil simply hold itself. Okay, now we are going to go step by step to see how it works. So the PLC when the PLC runs this ladder logic program for the first time, when the button is pressed, okay, the output will be activated because the button is pressed. Okay, this is just like the example before. The fan happens, the happen the second or third time the PLC runs the ladder logic. Okay, since this is a momentary push button, it will not be active for a long time. So depending upon how long time the PLC takes to execute the program, the button might be deactivated again the second, third or fourth time. So let's jump forward to the first scan cycle where the button is no longer pressed. Okay, so the output is still active since the push button was pressed in the last scan cycle, because we are going to take the previous data. This time PLC will again read the inputs and save them in the memory byte. So in memory bit, you can see here, in memory bit IO.0, the PLC will now save a 0. The first examine if closed instruction with IO.0 as a condition will be evaluated to false or 0. Okay, but as you can see, there is another examine if closed instruction parallels to the other, but this one has the output memory bit as a condition. So this will therefore be evaluated as true or 1. Since the output is still active, as long as the memory bit is 1, the output will be activated. It acts as a condition itself. So the reason, you can see here, the reason the self-holding instruction is put in parallel to the other instruction is to make the OR condition. So it will come back to that later. So important thing is to know here is that either IO.0 or output 0.0 has to be true to activate the output. Okay, so now we have seen the examples and how this, what you call, self holding instruction works by putting it in the parallel. Okay, now we are going to see the next instruction, which is examine if open. Okay, now you have learned how to make a functioning ladder PLC program. Okay, so a push button that activates an output. So in our example, this would be connected to a contactor giving supply to a fan. The output then hold itself. But there is a practical problem with this program. Okay, so how do we stop the fan? What is the way to stop the fan? So how somehow to be able to turn off the output again, This is the simplest way to do that. Would be a adding of stop button. The button will be connected to the second input, thereby giving it memory address. So I will repeat. The simplest way to do this, to add a stop button, the button will be connected to the second input. Okay, and the address given to the button will be IO.1. So the question is now, which instruction should be used for the stop button? Okay, so that is more even important. Where should we place it in our ladder logic? Okay, so there are two questions will be arising. First one is, which instruction should we use for the stop button, and where we should place it in our ladder logic. So the answer, the first to answer this first question, let me introduce you to another logic instruction, examine if open. Here how, this is how examine if open looks like. Okay, it's quite opposite to that of examine if closed symbol. This is normally closed in electrical terms. This instruction works the exact opposite way of the examine if closed instruction. Okay, the result of this instruction will be an inverted condition. Okay, it simply means that if the condition is 0, the result will be 1. Okay, and vice versa. So with condition 1, the result will be 0. So now if you think, you can see the symbol here. If you think about this, this is precisely how we want to stop button to work. To turn off the output coil, we must somehow give it to the condition 0. Okay, this is the answer for the first question. Now the second question, where to place this button? We have to place it after self-holding instruction. In other way, serial connected. Okay, otherwise the latch would still give a condition 1 to the output coil when the button stop button is pressed. So now I'll show you the ladder diagram for this. This is how the ladder diagram looks like. Okay, this is our stop button, which is examine if open instruction. It is placed in serial. Okay, serial connection, because the latch would still give a condition 1 if it not placed in series. Okay, you can see here. So now you can see that it inverts the condition to the output coil. If condition is 1 at the output of this, it will 0 at the output of this. If it is 0 at the output of this part, it will be 1 at the output of IO.1. This will break the latch. To activate the latch again, okay, the start button has to be pressed. Okay, to activate the latch, means to revert the condition, the start button has to be pressed. Start. In this example, I have used in the example above, I used the example if open instruction for a stop button. Okay, this is not a good practice, because in order for the stop button to work when it is pressed, we have to use a normally open contact on the button itself. Okay, so you can read more about why you have to use normally close or contact for stop button. Okay, I'll give you the link for that. So in short, it is to make sure that the system stops when a wire to the button breaks. Okay, you can see here, this is the diagram, ladder diagram for output latch with to break the latch. Okay, now this is ladder logic output with stop. Okay, you can see it. For a good practice, you have to perform instruction of ladder logic diagram like this. Now you have learned how to set an output and hold it until a stop button is pressed. Okay, but there are other ways also to do these kind of things. Latching is not only the way. So now we are going to see the different coils, set or reset coils. So in the next we are going to look at the set and reset coils, okay, or in Allen Bradley terminology, latch and unlatch coils, okay. The whole point of this is to free you from using contact as latching, okay. By using the set and reset coils, these discrepancies will be gone. Thereby you can set an output in one place in your ladder logic. You can then reset the coil in a totally different place in your ladder logic. This is your set latch coil, okay, coil, and this is your reset latch coil. So as you can see, so as you that the set or reset coil consists of two coils, okay, a set coil and a reset coil, different coils, and even though they are two separate coils, they control the same bit, okay. The controlling of the particular bit is done by using this coil. So what this means is that you are going, when you give a pulse to the set coil, the bit will be sent, the bit will be set. So in contrast to a normal coil, the set coil will keep the bit set even though the condition before the coil changes, okay. The only way to reset the bit again is to give a pulse to the reset coil, okay. This output here will be set, output here will be reset. So when you are building larger PLC programs with thousands of bits, some even connected to a SCADA system, make sure you know where you are setting the bits and where you are resetting the bits, okay. So next one is the theory is given here, you can read, okay. We are going to see this for the last point for today's lecture, set or reset priority. So building a set or reset function with two different coil introduces again a new problem, okay. So which one of them has the highest priority, because it will work on the same what you call it as same bit, okay. This will work from same for same bit. So which uh, button or which coil should be given the highest priority? So if both conditions for setting and for resetting is true, what will the state of the coil be in the end? So it is important to know about this, because even though it is considered bad programming practice, it can still happen that both conditions are true, okay. Typically this happens under a fault condition, and for safety reasons it is important to know what then happens, okay. So what the PLC executes last is will be the result. So if you set the coil in one network and reset it with the same condition in a network just below the coil will be reset. Remember, the PLC executes ladder logic one instruction at a time from top to bottom, okay. This is a basic terminology. So this will work in this manner. If you put the set and reset in different uh, POUs, then the result will come from the last POU and the PLC calls and executes, okay. So this is about today. So in the next lecture we are going to see the set and reset function blocks, and then SR function blocks, and we are going to see the priorities and preferences to that. So till now watch this video. If you have any problem, doubt, you can ask, and do watch the video, and take care.